Digital boost, digital technologies, and keeping your business safe online. Where does that fit in with the issue of procurement and public contracts? And actually, it's core to it. It's fundamental to the whole thing. Because if you're a business and you are looking to bid for contracts, you're looking to deliver services and products to organisations that are wanting to buy those, to deliver value to the public, to deliver services, then one thing that has to be intrinsic in this is that you are there to deliver those services, to deliver those products. And in a way, keeping your business safe online isn't about protecting yourself. It's about ensuring that you as a business are always there to continue to do the business that you do. And in that respect, if you're not able to keep yourself safe in a world which is increasingly online, then essentially you'll not be able to do business. You'll not be able to win contracts. You'll not be able to give confidence to the people who are offering the business that you'll be there to deliver it. So actually, keeping your business safe online is instrumental in doing business full stop. Also, procurement is, or should I say, bidding for work, responding to tenders. Those are increasingly competitive activities that we have to undertake as businesses. And if you're not able to exploit for your business's benefit all of the capacity that is offered through the latest developments in digital technology, you'll just essentially not be able to keep up. Not keeping up means that you'll not be able to compete, not be able to bid competitively, therefore you'll not be able to deliver good services, let alone stay there. So Digital Boost is a program that is delivered by the Business Gateway throughout Scotland. And the Digital Boost programme is essentially there to boost people's ability to take advantage of digital technologies as commercial entities. What we'll be looking at today is keeping your business safe online, cybersecurity essentials, and for those of you who have been good enough to stay on at the end and listen to it, hopefully it will be an interesting introduction to these workshops. So just to kind of put things in context, the Digital Boost programme is funded by Digital Scotland and delivered by the Business Gateway, and it's essentially a national programme throughout Scotland. And if you want to find information on it, you can go to the Business Gateway website, businessgateway.com/digitalboost, and you can find a whole load of information there. The programme itself takes three forms. The first one is that you have got online information resources and guides that can give you a basic introduction to exploiting digital technologies. Then there's a series of workshops which follow this structure of different workshop subjects, and these workshops are run again throughout the country, and they fall into what I would roughly describe as three categories. The first ones are to do with a core workshop, which is the one in the middle, called Digital Marketing Strategy. Now, what this is really about is figuring out what you want to achieve using digital communications technologies. Then you might have core functions that your business might want to do, for example, paid advertising, e-commerce, cloud for business essentials. This is, your business operations and how you can maximize the effectiveness of those operations online. But then you've got other specific ones. For example, Facebook for business. What the heck has Facebook got to do with business, you might ask yourself? But actually, Facebook is enormous business these days. Facebook is one of the fastest growing e-commerce marketplaces. You can buy and sell things on Facebook. Also, here's the thing. If you're looking to engage with the likes of the Scottish Government in terms of offering them services, how in the heck do you reckon the Scottish Government are going to get to know about you? Now, you might think, the Scottish Government doesn't use Facebook. No, but everyone in the Scottish Government who is involved in the procurement process, I'll bet you £1 a penny that they're on Facebook, and if you can be found on Facebook, this gives you the opportunity to be exposed on Facebook. So, as part of the Digital Boost program of workshops, we look at exploiting Facebook for business purposes, exploiting LinkedIn for business purposes, Twitter and Hootsuite. There are a number of specific tools that we look at as well. So from a strategy level, to a core business function level, to a platform level, there are different workshops that look at different aspects of your business and how to exploit digital technologies to the max for your commercial goals. That's the workshop series that we have. But in addition to the workshop series, the Digital Boost program is in fact got a series of, if you like, one-to-one support that is available from that as well. So whether you just want an online guide, whether you want guidance through workshops, this is a taster session of one of those workshops, this one here, keeping your business safe online, whether you want that or whether you want, if you like, more in-depth one-to-one support to help you achieve specific implementation issues on questions that you might have raised or might have been raised as part of these workshops, then the Digital Boost program can help you out. Now, it's worthwhile noting here that as the Digital Boost program is delivered by the Business Gateway, then your first port of call, like most things about starting a business, growing a business, like was talked about by the previous speaker, those micro businesses, the less than 10 people businesses that make up an essential core, a vibrant core of our economy here, then Business Gateway is an excellent source of assistance. So you can always get in touch with the Business Gateway via their website, or if it's specifically about Digital Boost, you can get to the Digital Boost page on the Business Gateway website. Okay, bit of a sales pitch for the Digital Boost program. Unashamedly, it is a good program for helping businesses to exploit digital technologies to their benefit. So what we'll be looking at today is specifically keeping your business safe online. Now, having talked to audiences, business audiences, security audiences, police audiences, law enforcement audiences for the past 20 years on cybersecurity, there are certain common themes that don't change. It's all too easy to say, oh, the world's a terrible place, here's all the risk factors, here's all the danger. But actually that's not very useful. What the useful thing is, what can I do about it? What are the steps that I can take to achieve improvement? And improvement when it comes to cybersecurity or keeping yourself safe online is all about ensuring that you are always able to continue doing your business. So, if you like, the starting point is, if bad things can happen to your computer systems, and 20 years ago your computer systems were a little box that sat in the corner of your business, but now your business sits within your computer systems. So essentially your first objective is to prevent bad things happening to you. That can be, if you like, summarised in Cyber Essentials. And there's a Cyber Essentials program that is government sponsored and government approved, which allows you to take certain steps. We'll go into some details on that. The next step along is to say, okay, if we're trying to stop bad things happening, there's an old adage, if you're going to play karate, prepare to get hit. If you're going to be online, you are going to be subject to attack. Full stop. You cannot prevent things from happening. And there's a little kind of story I sometimes tell. Some very secretive government-funded organisations once asked me, can you make a hack-proof computer? And I said, yes, it's very simple. And they went, oh, really, how? They kind of suspected that there was something fishy going on. First thing you do is unplug the computer. You unplug the computer, it becomes a bit harder to hack into it. Not impossible, but harder. Then following that, you take it apart, you pile all the bits in a big hard surface, you hit those things with a big hard hammer, you take the dust, you sweep it into a bag, you put it in a safe, you put chains around the safe, you chuck that into the ocean, and there you go, that's a hack-proof computer. But that's not the purpose. Remember, the purpose here is about ensuring that your business is always going to continue operating. So here's the thing. The bad thing might happen. So the best way of securing yourself from the bad things happening is not to do it. Dead easy. Go out of business and nobody will hack your business. That's a great response. No, it doesn't work that way. So a more sophisticated response is to say, okay, I've taken care of the basics. The next thing is, how can I manage this balance between doing business online, and yet being safe from the bad guys? Because here's the thing, the more successful the business is, the more the bad guys will be out to get your value. So this is about risk management and how you respond to the risk factors. So that's, if you like, the next stage out in terms of how you keep your business safe online. The third element is, if you're going to get hit because you're playing karate, how are you going to pick yourself up off the ground and get back up and start playing karate again? So how do you recover yourself? How do you recover from the attack? That's important, because let's face it, if you're going to get attacked and if there is an impact on you, you have to respond to that. So this is about the recovery phase. And then the final one is, the whole purpose of this is this concept of a cyber-resilient business. Sounds like a bit of a buzzword, but what it essentially means is you have got a business which is able to operate effectively, comfortably, and productively in the digital or cyber arena, i.e. you've got computers and they're networked and they're online and you do things on the internet, but you're able to continue doing that. You're able to recover from attacks. You're able to get back to where you were and advance and progress. Constant process improvement. And that's what the ultimate goal is of the cyber-resilient business, which is keeping your business safe online. And what's important is, what can I do about it? So I would suggest you start with the cyber essentials. You determine what the risk factors are that are applying to your own business, and you take the appropriate steps. I'm not suggesting that you become Fort Knox. I'm suggesting that the objective is there are simple steps you can take that will make your business much more able to resist the bad guys. And that's the name of the game. So, another way of looking at this is kind of graphically. If we assume that all of these 4 different colours on the graph are different types of business, ranging from the purple at the bottom, which is the cyber insecure, right up to the cyber resilient business at the top. And at each stage, prior to the attack, all businesses are worth approximately the same value. There's an attack happens. Now the insecure business is walking along willy-nilly with its eyes shut, and it suddenly realizes, oh, I've been attacked. But because it's insecure, the effect of that attack is worse on them than it would be for somebody who's taking basic steps to protect themselves. So just in the attack phase, i.e. when somebody tries to get in at you, the effect on the insecure is worse. And as you can see, because they don't know how to respond, because they don't know how to recover, it just keeps going down. And see that 0, that means you're bust. i.e. you are no longer able to function as a business. So this isn't about a nice to have. This is essential to keep operating. You do the essentials. You know how to respond to an attack. Job done. You've prevented the damage going any further. So your value continues on. A secure business. Well, guess what? You know how to respond. So you know how to stop the attack quicker. You know how to retain some of the value. So guess what? Your value comes back. But the truly resilient business knows how to learn from those lessons, knows what steps to put into place, knows how to do things better in future, and the value goes back up and up and up. And this is not about security. This is not, ooh, scary bits and bytes that are going to come and bite you and steal something out of your computer. No, this is about core business value. And that's the kind of message I would say. Now, to put things into context, we heard about micro businesses, We heard about the SME business sector within Scotland and the importance to the economy. So if I'm a small business, common myth and misconceptions. One is, I'm too small, nobody will attack me. At the risk of sounding like a particular television programme, rubbish! Why is that the case? Well, statistically, it's just rubbish. Because, if you look here, this was a survey done by the UK Government Cybersecurity Breaches Survey, beginning of this year. 38% of micro businesses, as was quoted earlier on, this is businesses of less than 9 employees, have experienced a cybersecurity breach in the last 12 months. So there we're talking these businesses that nobody will attack me because I'm not worth attacking. But over a third of them have experienced a cybersecurity attack in the last year. So it is a big issue for small businesses. Here's another myth. I don't have to worry. I don't have anything worth taking. That's a bit like saying, my lawnmower isn't worth much. Nobody will nick it out the shed. People nick lawnmowers out the shed all the time, even although they're worth nothing. You get things stolen. But here's another survey that was carried out. This is again about the kind of loss that is experienced in a cyber attack. Now this notion, oh, I don't have anything worth taking. It's not that you have something worth taking. It's that you as a business value, for example, your ability to communicate online. How do you communicate online? Oh, I can always phone someone, or I can always use email through a browser. Well, potentially yes, but imagine your email is a Yahoo email account. And that Yahoo email account has been compromised by a phishing attack. You now can't email anyone. Even although your computer is secure, your email account has been compromised. They haven't stolen anything from you. Well, they have. They've stolen your ability to communicate with your customers. If your ability to communicate with your customers is part of your ability to do business, they have stolen your business by stealing that ability to communicate. So it's not that you perceive the value in anything, but if it undermines your ability to do business, it is a valuable resource that you need to maintain. And this is this top statistic. Any listed outcome. What this means is that there's 41% of the cyber attacks have resulted in losses which nobody actually really thought they realised what was a problem. This is the unforeseen circumstances that have had impact on a business, and it actually accounts for damn near half of the problems that businesses face. Anyway, so these are some of the myths and misconceptions when it comes to the issues that small businesses face. So really the moral of the story there is small businesses, SMEs, micro businesses, those less than 9, one-man bands. I mean, who in the heck would want to attack a one-man band? Who would want to attack a social enterprise delivering services to the care sector? It would be a heartless criminal that would want to do that. They don't care. If they can get advantage out of it, they'll do it. So we all need to protect ourselves. We all need to be cyber resilient. We all need to keep our businesses safe online. So here's an example of the kind of thing we're talking about. How many people have experienced phishing? This is an example. Now, you probably think, no, I haven't experienced a phishing attack. But see these dodgy emails that you get that purport to be from PayPal or the bank or DHL, your parcel has been delivered and we can't deliver it. Please click on here to change your delivery address details. That is a phishing email. Now you think, what's the harm? Well, the harm is quite simple. You click on that link and you open up what appears to be a document. It can install software onto your computer without you knowing about it. That software can then monitor what you're doing and report back to its boss. For example, keystrokes. Keystrokes sounds a bit technical. No, it's not. It's your password. It's your username that you type in. It just logs that kind of information. It can do that. It might actually be more sophisticated phishing exercise, and it will actually redirect you to a page. For example, oh, you need to reconfirm your authentication details. In this case, PayPal. Now, you might think, this is terrible. How do I know the difference? Well, there's a lot of telltale techniques that can help you know the difference, and we'll come into this again. It's about being aware. It's about having a general awareness of cybersecurity as an issue for your business. But there are certain things that you can look out for. For example, if you look up here at where this email is coming from or where it's directing you to, it's sites.google.com. Google's a reputable organization. I trust Google, but hold on a minute. It's a PayPal site. Why is PayPal on Google? It doesn't match. What else? Well, there's the ubiquitous spelling error that always appears in things like this. They don't always appear, but they do quite often appear. What else? It can also redirect you to familiar looking logon screens, but they're actually not in the correct web domain. So look out for anomalies, and that way you can identify phishing emails. Now, I said it can install a bit of software on your computer. This is something you do not want to see on your computer. This is ransomware. It hit the headlines recently when the NHS got pretty much shut down by ransomware. And what it is that little bit of software that the phishing email installs on your computer. What does it do? Well, in this case, it jumbles up or encrypts all your files. So all your customer records, all your recent contacts, all your emails, all your communications, all your pricing, all your product information, all your future product development information is encrypted. Now, having worked in encryption, these guys don't mess around. They use heavy-duty encryption. Because when I first heard about this, I thought, I know a bit about decryption. I'll get round this. No. Basically, these guys have messed you up proper. The only way to get out of it is, according to them, to pay a ransom to get the password to get your own files back. Is this illegal? Yes. Is this unethical? Yes. Does this happen? Yes. So how do you protect yourself? Well, one of the first things is don't click on these dubious links. Step number 1. Step number 2, and we'll come on to this in a bit more detail, install patches. Because here's the thing. Do you remember the big story about the NHS being shut down because of ransomware? The story was a wee bit more sophisticated than that. What actually happened was the scanning machinery that was shut down by this ransomware is run by computers. Those computers weren't updated. They weren't patched with the latest protective software patches. As a result of this, the ransomware virus was able to get into them and lock up the computers. So the moral of the story is that there are actually some steps you can take, one of which is antivirus, patches and updates. Don't click on dodgy links. But here's the other one. Assume that it might happen. Remember, it's not just prevention, it's cure, it's response, it's recovery. So here's the thing. Backups. Because there was a celebrated case actually on the south side of Glasgow, hairdresser's business, saw this in the morning. They thought to themselves, it was £1,000 they were being asked for, actually $1,000 in bitcoins. So they thought, I'll pay it. So they paid it, and then the next email that they got was, actually, it's $2,000. And they thought, this is the road to hell. We can't do this. So the moral to the story here is, how can you make yourself independent of the bad guys so that you don't have to deal with the bad guys? Rule number 1 is backups. It's ancient old ideas, but if you have your information encrypted, what happens if it's not encryption and your computer goes on fire? and is lost, how can you restore the information? So good commercial IT practice, run regular backups. Okay, you might lose the last few hours of activity, but you can go back to where you were yesterday. And you can do that quite quickly, and you can say 2 fingers in the air to Mr. Bad Guy that sent me ransomware. And by the way, I'll now be applying all the patches to make sure that I can be safe going forward. This is other risk factors. Now, we've talked about ransomware, the bad guy out there. We've talked about phishing, the fraudster out there. What else are we talking about? Well, here's the strange thing. If you're looking at the risk factors to your business and cyber risks, you might think to yourself, on the right-hand column here, servers, PCs, laptops, mobile phones, tablets, all of these things can be corrupted by bad stuff. Software as a service platforms. Office 365, guess what? You don't have your information on your computer anymore. It's out there on the cloud. The OneDrive, the Google Drive, the Dropbox, it's all out there. If you can't get access to that, or if those systems are corrupted, guess what? You're still out of business nonetheless. So think about where it is that you hold business critical information. Your digital domain, websites, your business process systems, CRM, file stores, content management system, your social media activity, your website. You might think, my website? Yeah, your website can be the source of a lot of commercial value. It can be where you communicate with your marketplace. It's where you gather information from your customers. If you're doing e-commerce, your website goes down, your shop is shut. Keep it up. So, this chap down the bottom here, some of you might recognize him, maybe. There's a chap called Kevin Mitnick. Now, Kevin Mitnick was the kind of hero amongst cybersecurity, amongst the hacker community, because he was a big name hacker back in the day. And people thought he must have been very technical. He would have been an expert in breaking into computers. He must know everything about computers. Now, I've given this, he did know a lot about computers, way more than I know about computers, but his expertise was exploiting the vulnerability of people. The sources of risks in terms of your organization are not purely technological, but they can be what people do. For example, has anyone tailgated anyone through a security swipe door on a secure building? Of course we all have. Guess what? You just broke into that building. That's breaking and entering technically, but actually you just followed somebody in. That's social engineering. That's what Kevin Mitnick did. And Kevin Mitnick exploited the weaknesses of people who would tell him information that would allow him to gain advantage over the computer-based systems. The point is that when you're looking at your response to the risk factors in cybersecurity, you have to consider how the people are part of the information system. They're not only using the information system and receiving the information, they're actually interacting with it. So they are an intrinsic part of your business, and they have to be considered as part of the solution when it comes to protecting your business online. So I mentioned the Cyber Essentials program earlier on. If you come across the Cyber Essentials logo down here, this is a government-approved scheme which has got 2 levels of standard. One is the self-assessment with external validation, and the other is Cyber Essentials Plus, where it's like a bit like an external quality test. They check out your systems, and you can get 2 accreditations. Now, these are, if you like, the easy wins that you can achieve. And to summarize them, they are roughly this: applying antivirus, or should I say using antivirus and applying malware software patches. Install updates and apply patches. Now, this is the basics. You do this as soon as possible. You know these automatic settings, apply patches or apply updates automatically. Worthwhile doing that, because that means that your computer will install the patches as soon as they're available. Use strong passwords. This is a start about behavior. And when we're talking about using strong passwords, what does that actually mean? These are the kind of competing factors which pull together to create a strong password. Now, essentially, if a password is too easy to guess, the bad guys can guess it. If a password is too hard for you to remember, you'll write it down, you'll keep it somewhere so the bad guys can find it. So what you have to do is get a password that's hard to guess, is easy to remember, and is sufficiently long to stop somebody trying to break into your computers with an automated process. And there's a balance of different factors to get a good password. But to help you out, there are solutions like things called single sign-on solutions. And this is, in fact, there's actually a company just up at the Pacific Key who do something like this. And what it is you remember one password, and you can make that as complicated as you want, and that organization takes care of your security for all the different platforms that they use. It's called single sign-on. So you sign on one place, and it allows you to access all the different secure resources that you access online. But again, it's not just about using the right password. Beware public devices and places. It's how and where you use the password. For example, Gmail or Hotmail or an online email account. And you say, oh, can I borrow your computer to do this? Do you know what's on that computer? Is there a key logging a bit of software in the computer that will actually gather information about your username and password? Possibly. So don't use your password on a device that you don't trust. So it's how you use passwords as well that's important. It's not just what the passwords are. Other things, not just passwords, install and use firewalls. That sounds a bit technical. I think I understand the concept of a firewall as a barrier between me and the bad stuff out there, but what does it mean? Well, it's actually quite simple. Your computer has a firewall on it. Is it switched on? It's a simple thing to do. This is Windows 10, I think it is. Or is it Windows... anyway, this is a simple one. Control panel, system security, Windows firewall. In left-hand menu, turn firewall on and off. Make the selection to on. Is it a public, private, or a domain network? Select that. Job done. It's not rocket science. You just need to do it. What does that do? That prevents bad stuff getting into your computer. It's that simple. It's not perfect, but it'll pick up 80% of what is being thrown at you. So it's worth doing. It's quite simple. What else? Restrict the functionality of your machine. We're talking about micro businesses. Now, it's all very well and good you're thinking, oh, big commercial organizations. No, you're setting up a business. You're using your laptop at home. Kids want to use the laptop. That's my business laptop. Yeah, it happens. It's the real world. So guess what? What this is about is create different accounts. An administrator account is when you log onto a machine as an administrator, you can do anything. If you've got a restricted account and you log on as that, you can only access some of the computer, which crucially means that if you're attacked while you're logged on in a limited account, the threat will not attack the whole computer. It will only attack the limited bit of the computer that you can access. So other people's files will be unaffected. Therefore, simple advice, restrict the functionality that you need to access day to day. How do you do that? Well, user configuration, simple, in the control panel, manage user accounts, and you set it from an administrator account to a standard user account. It protects you. Simple steps, but more sophisticated. This is a fairly robust program, but I'll just highlight one or two things. The be aware issue. I've talked about formalizing the management process, but be aware. What does that mean? Well, if you get an email like this, you think, oh, yeah, I'm always getting these reset applications for Apple. I'll just reset it, and it looks okay. So if you actually know that you can also look at the same email like this, and you realize that what comes from Apple is actually coming from PayPal at services.fr. Hold on, PayPal and Apple are two different companies. This doesn't sound right. What else? Well, actually, it's been sent to a mailing list. So do you reckon that when they're sending out a request to reset a password, that they're going to just do it to a mailing list? No, they're going to do it to you. So that's also something to watch out for. What else? Well, if you actually look at the link, so instead of being a link to Apple, the actual link is to leverup.com.ua. That ain't Apple. That should be ringing alarm bells. These are simple steps that you can take and watch out for to detect potential threats and its user behavior. So that's be aware. But what else? Create an incident management plan. What's that all about? Well, it's about this. Have a plan on how you're going to recover. Improve it, measure it, and build what you're going to do. Now, you think, how do I figure out how to recover from something that I don't understand or something that I don't know is going to happen? Well, think about it this way. Think about your business in terms of the people that you have and what they do, the processes that your business undertakes, and the systems that your business has. Pretty much that's your business. If you can plan out what the crucial people and what they do, what the processes are that your business undertakes, and the systems that you use are, you can start to say, these are the things that we need to rebuild. Because if somebody was to say, can you describe your business, please? How would you describe everything that your business does? So break it down into these people, process, and systems areas so that you can start to figure out, okay, what do we need to recreate? What do we need to protect? How do we recover from an attack that may come against us through the cyber world? So that is really, if you like, the recovery phase. And just to summarise, before I go on, to remind you that the Digital Boost programme has got lots of different workshops. This is only one small example of them. But what to do next? Contact the Business Gateway. The Business Gateway are a useful source of assistance. There's a Digital Boost online health check. This actually gives you an indication of what you're doing well and what you could improve with regards to your online exploitation of digital technologies. Come along to one of the workshops. You're more than welcome. We can accommodate everyone in the room. And I would suggest, although I said that the Cyber Essentials is a good starting point, you have to start somewhere. So I would suggest looking at the Cyber Essentials programme as a way of figuring out the simple steps that you can take. And just like everything in business, there's an 80-20 rule. With 20% of the effort, you can create 80% of the benefit. And in this respect, the simple steps that you can take through Cyber Essentials and start will get you moving towards a fully, robustly, cyber-resilient organisation. But you can get 80% of the way there using the simple Cyber Essentials checks. Semper Vigilo, by the way, always be aware. So, thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you.